Hello everyone. I hope you can see me well. I'm still adjusting to the new Facebook Live. I'm not used to it yet. Welcome to my cooking class today. My name is Charlotte Habiger and I am an independent consultant with Epicure. I'm also a director. And what I love is sharing how healthy eating can be simple, fun, quick, tasty, and actually anything you want it to be. What I really like also is helping people change their eating habits one step at a time, but according to what they want to change in their eating habits. So today I'm going to share 2 recipes. I'm going to use Epicure products to do those 2 recipes, and though you can actually use, I'll share substitutes that you can use from your own refrigerator, your pantry, and even you can even use alternatives to the Epicure spices. Though what's great about them is there's no toxic, chemicals or anything that would be bad for your health, and it's actually really good for your nutrition. So I'm just going to check on the Facebook group. I want to make sure that you can see me and hear me. And if you have any questions, I can answer you directly as well. I just want to make sure that this is working well. So if there's someone on, especially with the new Facebook, I'm not as good at managing yet the comments, the number of people viewing, and the quality of the video. So I'm used to the old Facebook. So it looks like it's working. I'm happy to welcome you into my kitchen. It's my great privilege to be able to share from my kitchen to your kitchen in these cooking classes. So the goal is to show you meals that you can make, recipes that you can make within 15 minutes. And why did I choose 15 minutes? Because that's quicker than ordering out. So if you can make healthy food from home in the same time it takes to order out, then that's cheaper and it's healthier, and plus you get to choose what you put in it. So I always do vegetarian recipes. Actually, I show vegan recipes to give alternatives, ways that you can change what you're eating, and though you can add whatever protein source that you would like to your recipe, and I will share that as well. So let's get started. I'm going to show you 2 recipes. I'm going to show a General Tao. So I'm in Quebec, Canada, and I grew up in the Caribbean, and I have a French Creole accent, if you're wondering where that's from. General Tao, it's an Epicure meal solution. I can send you the link after this, so if you want to order them, you can go on the website, and you can contact me anytime for questions. And we're going to share the chocolate mud pie. So they're both, everything with Epicure is gluten-free. You have all the certifications on each product. Certifications about GMO verified, kosher, gluten-free. Most of them are vegan. For example, these 2 do not have any animal products in them. So I'm just wanting to check because it does often say if it's actually vegan itself, and I can always check that for you. But these do not have any animal products in them. We have very few Epicure products that do. So it's mainly vegetarian and vegan, actually. So these are the 2 I'm going to do today. And I'm going to start with the dessert. And why I'm starting with the dessert, see, we usually do in-home cooking classes. Before the confinements and everything, we did in-home cooking classes. I've been doing them for 13 years. And I really miss being in people's homes. But the way we're doing it now is online. I started doing online actually in 2016, so it's not really new for myself, but for my team, a lot of my Epicure colleagues, this is new to do them, from video. So I'm happy that at least allows me to meet you. Some people will be watching this video live, or maybe they will watch it afterwards, and we can actually meet in a more indirect way, though in a way that we would not have had before all of this. So I'm very grateful for that. And the reason I do the dessert before the main recipe is because when we do an in-home cooking class, well, we want everything to be finished within 15 to 20 minutes, and people participate. They do the recipe with me. Actually, I often don't even participate myself. If it's a really, really active and fun party, they just do it themselves, and we finish everything within 15 minutes. So for example, with the dessert, that I need to let it set in the refrigerator. It's a mud pie, so I'm going to prepare the dessert, put it in the refrigerator, just like in the regular in-home cooking class, and then work on the main menu. And it will take a bit more than 15 to 20 minutes because I explain things at the same time, and there's some things that take longer and some things that take less time than you would actually need in your own kitchen when you're cooking. So are you ready to get started? I can't wait to see the comments. You can write questions and also suggestions. My favorite part is the conversation between the people watching the video. Sometimes the conversations are so busy below my videos that I don't think people are even watching the video anymore, and I don't care, because the idea is people coming together and sharing ideas, sharing resources, so we can actually eliminate toxic products from our food and have fun. Make healthy, quick, tasty, and it has to be yummy and fun. So here we go. If you have any questions, you can let me know, any suggestions as well. So I'm going to start with the mud pie. I'm going to get that first, and I'll show you how the ingredients are so very simple. There's only a few. So Epicure is a Canadian-based company, though we also have opened in the United States. So everything is in French and in English. And I also do my cooking classes in English, and I also have cooking classes in French. So as you can see, the ingredients are very simple. There's very few ingredients. There's nothing that you can't pronounce. And the recipe is on the back. You also can have all the recipes on epicure.com. So epicure.com means you go on the website, you choose, for example, you can cook the mud pie for the recipe, but you could also just look for desserts or, lunches, lunchbox, or whatever. And so I'm just going to follow the recipe. What would be fun at some point is if I can let you know the ingredients and recipe ahead of time, we can cook together. So in a cooking class, and in a home cooking class, I always get someone to do like read the recipe, and then I just follow. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix, we're going to whisk 1 can of coconut milk in a multi-purpose pot. So we have utensils as well as food solutions. And then we're going to just bring it to a boil, remove it from heat, add yogurt, and we have the mix as well. So that's basically what it is. I'm going to put it in a pie crust, put it in the refrigerator, and while that's setting in the refrigerator, I'm going to make the main course. So are you ready for this? I can't wait for your comments and your questions. Suggestions as well, so if you have ideas. I just do the most basic recipe, and then everybody can add suggestions, ideas of what you would do at home to maybe replace some of the ingredients. For example, I found it really difficult to find a graham pie shell, so I'm thinking that maybe right now they're not easy to find. So you can use a regular pie crust, but our products are gluten-free, so it would be nice to have gluten-free options. So if you have options for a gluten-free pie crust, put them in the comments. I would love to know what you would suggest. So alternatives to graham pie shells as well. And I'm going to mix this with a multi-purpose pot. I hope I have one here. So these multi-purpose pots are really fun. Sorry for the noise. They have measurements. You have measurements inside. This one is so, I've had them like for 10 years, so they've been used a lot. We use them every day. We're also minimalist, so we don't have too many cooking utensils. We use exactly what we need. So like you can see, the measurements are in liters and also cups, so you can actually measure directly with it. It looks like it's small, but it's actually an 8-cup pot, so it's just the shape that is different. It has the shape of the smaller, for the cooking here, and it's also very easy to hold for someone who would have maybe joint pain or things like that. For children also, if you want them to cook, or if they want to cook, to have things that are easy to hold is very helpful. So I'm going to whisk the mix with 1 can of coconut milk. So do you have a favorite coconut milk? Oh my gosh, I have tried so many different kinds of brands of coconut milk, all the ones that we have here in Quebec. Maybe you have a favorite, let me know. And I grew up in the Caribbean, the French Caribbean, so we actually had, coconuts and coconut milk. So it's hard for me to find something exactly equivalent. So we have found one that we like. So I'm just going to whisk the mix. Whisk the mix. Can you say that? Whisk mix. That's what it says. I'm going to put that in here. Now I might need a little spoon or something to get this out. I have our super duper spatula here that can help with that. say you can't have coconut or something like that. For whatever reason you don't like it, or you can't have it, or then you can use alternatives. There are some alternatives on Epicure groups, Facebook groups. You can try different things. You can try regular milk. I haven't tried anything else because it's a new product. It just came out, so I haven't really. Actually, our new season started a couple days ago, so excited to be doing this with you. So I use scissors to open my meal solutions because I'm kind of clumsy, and any other way I try, I just get it everywhere. So I'm just going to go ahead and use scissors. I'm going to mix it up here. And we're going to whisk the mix here. So, and then we're going to bring it to a boil. And bring it to a boil over medium heat. Remove from the heat. We'll add a cup of yogurt. You can add, I just got regular yogurt today, so it's not vegan, it's vegetarian, but you could actually use a vegan alternative or your favorite, yogurt, just plain yogurt. So I'm going to add a cup of that to my mix. But for now, we're just going to let it boil, okay? There we go. So I'm just going to wait for that to boil. And then mix with 1 can of coconut milk. Bring to a boil over medium-high heat. I like to get my exercise in while I'm cooking because I'm sitting all day, the rest of the day at my desk working. So, isn't that so good about cooking though? We get to move around. Stirring frequently, and then you remove from heat and add the non-dairy or dairy yogurt. So now my dessert is getting ready. I get to go to the next step. Like I said, they can each be made, or both actually, within 15 minutes, but I'm taking time to explain, so it might be a little bit longer. General Tao. So General Tao, I used to love this from restaurants. I even actually used to order it in before we had it with Epicure, and now we have it. So why is it cool to have a meal solution like this? What I like about the meal solutions is so few ingredients, like this. And you can take it with you to the grocery store if you need to have because you want the ingredients that are on there. You can take a picture of it. You can use the Epicure website. And it just gives you all the instructions. And you have 4 to 8 portions depending on the meal solution. Plus, you know that it's gluten-free. There's no toxic chemicals. There's nothing that's bad for your health in here, quite the opposite. It's ethically sourced. I mean, all these different things. And the ingredients most of them are organic. It just depends on where they're from. So I love that about this. And also you can put whatever you want in it. So let's say you want anything that tastes like General Tao. Well, just make it with the mix, So it has chicken in the recipe, but in my house we're vegetarian, and actually part of us in our house is vegan. So it suggests using tofu. Well, most vegetarians or vegans don't necessarily love tofu, but it's a super easy way to taste spices or replace something in a recipe. But you could actually do other, was very trendy a year or two ago, General Tao with cauliflower, for example, or broccoli or potatoes. I mean, what do you like? And would love for it to taste like General Tao, So that's what we're going to do. And in that case, it says chicken thighs, or you can replace it by tofu. So I'm going to use firm tofu. This is what I have here. I use very firm tofu, and I've tried different brands as well, so I have my favorite. Would love to know if you have your own, or if you have another alternative to propose that you'd like to make the General Tao. I'm still going to watch my mud pie here, so it doesn't. I want it to boil, but I don't want it to boil over, right? So, what I need to do is cut my tofu. I'm going to use our ceramic knife, so you need a knife that's sharp and thin to make what we like in cubes in our home. My children cook as well, and they always make the tofu in cubes. But you could make, what would it be called, like longer pieces or whatever you like. You can make the shape you like. That's all up to you. So I'm just going to cut it in cubes. And the way I do that is I have this, I don't know if that's what everybody does, but I just cut it in like strips in one direction. Like it's like kind of like a big, like I said, I have a big cube kind of, and I'm cutting it in strips in one direction. And then I go and I cut it in strips in another direction. And then in the end, I cut them in a third direction, and that makes cubes. That's how I do it. I don't know about you. Careful with the knife. It is so sharp. It looks like a toy, but it's not for play. So I watch people in my cooking classes when I let them use it. So I just cut it up. And that way, I have cubes. So I just have all these cubes made from tofu. It took me a minute to cut it. And then I'm going to follow the recipe on the nail solution. So again, it's very simple. You cut the chicken or the tofu in bite-sized pieces. If it's chicken, I toss it in cornstarch, but I don't use chicken anymore, so I don't find that that's very useful with the tofu. It works very well, but I just dry the tofu before I use it. Like I take it out of the package, I drain it, and then I just lay it on top of a towel or something. I kind of dry my tofu before using it, so I don't find that the cornstarch is necessary for tofu. But with chicken, they suggest using cornstarch. So then I'm going to add this mix to water, soy sauce, and ketchup. So of course there's all kinds of soy sauces, and I'd advise as low salt as possible, of course. Ketchup, we even had a mix to make it ourselves with Epicure, just a quick couple-minute mix, spice blend. And you could also use a tomato paste or instead of the ketchup if you'd like, because ketchup often has like, you know, yucky ingredients, even though it's yummy, unfortunately. So you could just use whatever you have at home. I mean, regular soy sauce and ketchup is what I'm going to use, and that's just fine. It's so much better than, I mean, any kind of General Tao you could order or buy at the grocery store, because, oh, there we go, it's boiling. I'm just going to put this on here. So, going to boil over. And here, okay. I don't want my fire alarm to go off either. Sometimes it does when I'm cooking stuff. So, yes, compared to what you would buy in the store, I mean, just compare the sodium. It's just like sometimes we don't even want to know what we're eating because there's so much stuff in there. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm a biochemist by training. That's what I spent most of my life studying, and I worked in the research lab. And no, we do not want to be having all those chemicals in our food that goes in our bodies, you know. Our bodies are mainly composed of what we're putting in it, you know. So, no. Anyway, this is much better, healthier. So even if you're putting a little bit of soy sauce and ketchup in it, it doesn't really make that much of a difference compared to how much better it is than any store-bought or ordered, or when you go to a fast food to buy General Tao. So this is much better. Yeah, which doesn't mean you can never order out, right? It doesn't mean it's terrible to ever order out or go to a fast food, but if you for 4 times that you go out, if 4 times that you eat General Tao, if at least one of them you switch to this, you know, everything that's better is good, right? So, add the seasoning to water, soy sauce, and ketchup. That's what I'm going to do. And right now my scissors, like I said, I always use scissors to open this. It wants me to put, instead to put the mix here. I'm going to put it in one of our, we have larger of those measuring bowls I told you about. We have silicone lids on them, so it's really fun. And I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of water, which I use my smaller ones that have measurements on it. I don't know if you can see the measurements. I put a 4th cup of water, not perfect though, and measured it with that and put it in there. And then we need 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and 2 tablespoons of ketchup. So I use our 4-in-1 spoons. And I always read the recipe. You know, I can do this 20 times and I still read the recipe. I don't know if it's my biochemistry, you know, what it is, but I always read the recipe as if it were the first time. And so we're going to put 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I have this local, artisanal, I don't know what you say in English, but it's made by a local farmer, I guess, or a local producer, I guess you'd say, that I buy from a farm here. So it has less sodium and less, you know, there's no preservatives or anything. But you can just use whatever soy sauce you have at home. But 2 tablespoons. 1, 2. I didn't really fill my tablespoon, we can put a little bit more. And then 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Hopefully, not always easy to measure out, but just about. I'm not exact with my recipes, it doesn't make much difference with Epicure, but you can follow it more or less exactly if you like. So here we go. Here we go. This is what it looks like, the general towel, the mix with water, soy sauce, and ketchup. And then, before I do the next step, I don't want to get you all mixed up, but I'm just going to finish up my dessert here, right? Because the dessert needs to be setting while I'm cooking the meal. The mix with coconut milk has boiled. It boiled up and then boiled back down. So now I can add 1 cup of yogurt and whisk. So I have my yogurt here. I'm using, like I said, regular, not dairy-free yogurt. You can use whatever you have, or if you need an equivalent, you can always write me if you want some equivalent, because maybe there's something that you cannot eat or that you need, sorry about that. You need suggestions for, and let me know, because we can, maybe other people will have an idea too. So I need a cup of yogurt, so I'm going to use the bowl to measure 1 cup. These are measuring bowls as well. And I'm going to put that in here with the mud pie mix, coconut milk that boils, whisk the whole thing, and you just put it in the pie crust. So like I said, I did not find the ground pie crust that I was looking for, okay? I did not find any. So I'm using a regular pie crust, which is not gluten-free, so if you have alternatives, I'd love to know what those are. And I'm just going to pour this boiled mix into the pie crust. And then it goes into the refrigerator for an hour or until it's set. So I'm just going to show you that. We'll open my fridge right now. Put it in there. Way here. And I'll actually share a picture afterwards of the results, because the idea is I want to show you how easy it is to make it, but I also want to show you the results. And it may not be done before we finish. So there we go. Dessert is setting. I still have a couple more minutes to show you that within the 30 minutes I can do the whole thing. And I'm going to heat the tofu in my wok here. So I cut the tofu, prepared the sauce, and I'm going to brown, oh here it is, my oil. I use olive oil, you can use whatever oil you enjoy. I'm going to brown the tofu. Well, it would have been chicken if I followed the original recipe. I'm going to brown my tofu in the Epicure wok, which is my favorite. We use it every single day, even to make pancakes. People think that's kind of weird, but we use just one. We only use two things, the wok and the multi-purpose multi-pot. So I'm going to brown this. And then I have one more ingredient to prepare. So how this works, and I'd love to see the comments and some questions and suggestions if you have any. So what I did is I cut the tofu. I'm browning it now in some olive oil in the wok. And you can use whatever you have at home as oil, etc. And then I added the seasoning to water, soy sauce, and ketchup, and it's right here. Okay, that's this mix with water, ketchup, and soy sauce. And now I am going to cut a pepper, 2 bell, actually it says 2, I'm going to do one large one, a pepper, and I'm going to add that to the tofu. And then I'll add the sauce. So it's very, very simple. I'm going to use my ceramic knife again to cut the pepper. So I am not very, like I said, I'm a scientist by training. I do not really care how it looks. So I'm really about practicality. So I just cut the kinds of pieces that I know will make bite-sized pieces. If you have any fancy technique for cutting, or if you want to make nicer pieces or smaller pieces, it's really up to you, and that's what's fun about this. And I'm doing peppers, like that's what's in the recipe, the original recipe on the bag, on the solution, the meal solution. But let's say you don't eat pepper, like let's say you don't like that, or you have an allergy, or whatever. You don't have any at home right now. Well, you can actually just use any vegetable you have. It could be broccoli, cauliflower. It could be, you can even make General Tso potatoes if you want. That's what's so cool about this, is it's so simple. You can eat General Tso all week and have different ingredients every single time. That's like a super cool possibility. So I browned the tofu. Okay, it's getting ready. If it were chicken, I'd have to make sure it's cooked, but it's tofu, so I know it's almost ready. I mean, I do it all the time, so I know my tofu will be ready in a minute or two. So I just need to finish up these peppers, and I can add them to the tofu. If I were doing chicken, I would cook the chicken separately from the vegetables because they don't have the same, I would maybe cut the chicken first, add the vegetables. It also depends on how you like the vegetables cooked. I don't like them to be hard. I really like it to be, I like them to be hard. I mean, I don't like them to be soft and too cooked. I like them to be like basically kind of al dente. So my pepper is cut. Like I said, I just really cut them very, very quickly. I'm not into aesthetics at all. I'm not against it. I just don't have any interest. So if you like to do things that are a little bit more tidier or that are pretty at the end, then you can actually do it, whichever way you want to cut is fine. So my tofu is ready. I'm going to add in the peppers. And just let that fry a bit. Put the cover on, and in a couple minutes, in a minute or two, I'll add the sauce, and then we'll be actually done. So I just wanted to say a few words. I did not have any comments during the video. I will check the Facebook group just to be sure. I'm looking forward to your comments and questions afterwards. And what else you'd like to see in my next recipes. I also have a YouTube channel where you can see these videos and other videos. I look forward to what you'd love to see, what you'd like to find out about, and what you'd like to learn exactly, or what you enjoy and what we can learn together. This is what this is all about. Cooking brings people together. And just a couple of our top, I always have a couple of products to share about. So we have our Better Than Bacon. Doesn't really go with General Tso, but I'm so excited about this. This is all bacon pieces, but there's no bacon. It's vegetarian. It's actually vegan. So I'm really excited about this. It's made with pinto beans and yeast extract. So I'm really, really excited about this. You can put it everywhere. I mean, this goes so fast, this jar in our home. And I'll put a link because you can actually order online, or you can write me for information. This is our Asian stir fry. That kind of goes with General Tso because you could use it even on your rice. The General Tso, you might want to put it on noodles, rice, vegetables. I just eat it as is. You can make a salad, a General Tso salad, and put that on top of your salad. So there's a whole bunch of ways to use it. You could eat half, or have the family eat half of it and then keep it for the next day for lunch. You can freeze it and have it for several meals. So this is just our Asian stir fry. I wanted to show this. So you can, it's a spice blend, but since there's no gluten, that means there's no flour or anything, like there's nothing added to take up space or to, no filler. So it's just pure spices and herbs, and it's food, it's actual food. And then there's our top three most popular products in the company. There's our 3-onion dip mix. You can make several cups of dip with this blend of 3 kinds of onions. and there's no you know, nothing to do with the sodium that you find in regular dips that you can buy, and it actually costs less because you can use yogurt, you can use mayonnaise and sour cream. You could also, there's 100 different ways. There's actually 100 different ways to use these three. So I mean, on the website, or people can share their suggestions as well. Cheese, chives, and bacon is another one of our dip mixes too, and it's vegetarian as well. And then there's lemon dilly. Lemon dilly, you can make carrot soup. You can put them on homemade chips. There's so many ways to use all of them. You just get used to them. Like I said, you can make the same popular dish from your whole family already likes, and just make it, but make it different every single time with a different blend. And you know it will bring different nutrients and be very, you know, rich in taste, and it's good for your health as well, to eat healthy, right? So if you're interested, I can send you the link also to the catalog. My website has the catalog on it. I can send you a paper copy as well. And if you'd like to know how to make an income by doing what I do, which is sharing with people and showing them how they can cook from home, then I'm also ready to share information with you. So one more minute and we'll be done. I wanted to say thank you for being on with me. Even if you watch the replay, I'd be very happy to have your comments, questions, suggestions, what you'd like to hear more about. So we're going to mix the sauce with the pepper and the tofu. Other proteins could be chicken or other, you could even do seafood if you're not a vegetarian. So I just mix that up with the sauce. I'm going to leave that in for about a minute. Because it's tofu, I don't have to make sure it's, you know, super well cooked. If it were chicken, I'd really advise following the recipe more strictly. So see, I did about 30 minutes showing you 2 recipes, and I was explaining all along as well. So just see if that's set. It's starting to set. Not really though. I'll have to send you a picture. I'll have to post a picture of the mud pie, so it's setting in the refrigerator. And I'll also post a picture of the general towel when it's done, just so you can see what it's like. Look up one more time. I want to show you what it looks like. Ta-da! Thank you for cooking with me. And you can use any color pepper. I use the yellow one just to change, you know, just for a change. One of my family's favorite meals that will actually be our school lunch for tomorrow. I hope you have a great rest of your day or evening, and thank you so much. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to see more of, and follow me on the Facebook page and group, and also visit my website if there's something you'd like to order. If you have questions, I'd love to answer you, and if you'd like to know more about what I do, I'd love to talk about that with you as well. So take care, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you next time.